Okay, we're go. Thank you so much for everyone who's tuned in here today. This is Taylor Shanklin here at the Kimbia office in Austin, and really excited to be joined today by Kimberly Lankshire from Zeidman Development to talk about our new integration between Kimbia's online fundraising platform and the Razor's Edge CRM, made possible by in partnership with Kimbia and her team over at Zeidman Development. So most of this will be Kimberly kind of talking to them about how this works, what it does, what it means for you at your nonprofit organization. But just a quick overview, real quick, Kimberly, if you could just fast forward to the next slide. I know we have several Kimbia users on the line here today, but I know we also have some people who are joining us who are not Kimbia users. So for those of you getting familiar with us here at Kimberly, what we do is the full gamut and full spectrum of online fundraising. Everything from everyday giving on your website to peer-to-peer campaigns, whether that's a run, walk, or ride, or a do-it-yourself campaign, to other types of events, and to crowdfunding high-impact giving days. So that's just a little bit about us, and I'm really excited to be talking with Kimberly today about how we integrate all of that goodness that happens in the online fundraising spectrum of Kimbia into your Razor's Edge database. So with no further ado, Kimberly, I'm going to pass it over to you. I will be taking questions. If you've got a question throughout the presentation, please type it into the questions box, and we'll open it up for questions to Kimberly at the end. But just go ahead and put those questions in if you've got them as they come up.
Okay, great, thank you. Well, yes, thank you for having me, Kimbia. It's really nice to be able to tell you guys about our integration. So Zeidman Development have been working with nonprofits for nearly 20 years. And throughout that whole time, we've been working with the Razor's Edge and other Blackboard products. So it's really exciting to be able to integrate this fundraising platform with the Razor's Edge. As well as Importacular, we offer a range of other services. We integrate Razor's Edge with people like Kimbia, but we also do bespoke integrations with your websites or with anything else that you want to have your Razor's Edge talk to. We offer some data management plugins, so specifically an audit trail tool and a bulk merge tool that allows you to find duplicate records in your database and clean them up easily. And we do customizations, so we can create almost anything you need within your Razor's Edge to manage your data or manage any kind of processes that you need. So those are all the services that we offer. Importacular was developed as to try and kind of give people an integration tool that covered all of the different areas. So particularly with your integration with Kimbia, the main benefits are you connect directly with Kimbia. So you're not downloading data, you're not having to use file sharing sites, you're not messing around with spreadsheets. So it's much more secure. Because you're putting data direct, it's also much quicker. And in terms of getting data into Razor's Edge, it's really flexible. The field mapping is completely customizable, so you can put your Kimbia fields into Razor's Edge wherever you like. So your processes will all be completely different from each other, and that's great because you can make sure that this works for you. You're never going to create a duplicate record in Razor's Edge because you can customize the way it looks up your existing records, and then you can update those rather than creating a new one. And you can correct data on the fly. So if you find a mistake, you can really quickly edit it, but you can also set up transformations so that if you've got data coming in from Kimbia that doesn't match exactly with Razor's Edge, you can transform it during the import so that it all goes in and everything is consistent and streamlined. And lastly, Importacular is free. So the basic package is free, which allows you to import into the biographical, address, and gift areas of Razor's Edge. The other areas have a low subscription cost, and I will go through those at the end. But before we do that, let's take a look at the plugin. So here's my Razor's Edge. So you'll find Importacular in the plugins area of Razor's Edge. If you are hosted by Blackboard, then this should already be there. activate it. If you're self-hosted, then you can download it from our website and really quickly and easily install it for yourself. So here it is, Importacular. We'll open it up. Oh, wrong one. And then you'll find Kimbia on the main screen here. So we just click on that to get started and click Start. And then we need to get our Report Anywhere URL from Kimbia. So that's really easy to find. If you log into your Kimbia account and go to the Reports tab on the top here, I've only got one report, you'll probably have a lot more, but if you click on the link here, you'll see 3 options. We're going to choose the CSV format, and all you need to do is copy that link and paste it into this box here. And then we can choose the date that we want to import entries from for that report. So you can choose a date from and a date to, so you can choose a specific time period or just a start date or just an end date. So I've got some test data in here, so I'm going to do a very long date period. And once we've done that, we can instantly see how many records we've got for review. So we've got 4 records to look at that we need to bring into Raiser's Edge. Now, the first thing you'll have to do is to create a mapping template, and you can do that by clicking on the little plus here. And this is where you decide where your Kimbia data is going to go in Raiser's Edge. Once you've created one, it will already be there. So this is my Kimbia mapping template, but I can edit it by clicking on the little pencil button here as well. So let me show you what I've set up. So as you can see, I've got the tabs along the top correspond to the different areas of Raiser's Edge that you might want to import into. As discussed, the 3 areas are the constituent data, the address data, and the gifts data. All of the other areas of Raiser's Edge are available, and we can unlock those for you to try before, so you can decide if you want to use them before you spend any money. And then down the side, we've got the different areas within that Raiser's Edge tab. So here under the constituent, we've got attributes, constituent codes, appeals, solicit codes, notepads, aliases, and declarations. Let's open up the constituent record. So here you can add as much or as little information from Kimbia as you like. You'll see down the left, we've got all the Raiser's Edge fields that you would find in the constituent area. And in the center, we've got what we call the source field. So that's the Kimbia fields. And if you click on the little drop down next to any of those, then you can see every single field in your Kimbia report, and you can map that to anywhere you like. So I've got first name, obviously mapped to first name. And this is just a really simple one. So I've also got the last name here as well. Now, if there are any fields that are required by your Raiser's Edge database, you'll see a little green tick here, and you'll need to select, and you'll need to make sure that you're mapping something to that field. If you don't have any data within the Kimbia report, then you can add a default value. So everything you see in this column here is a default. You can see we've set up unknown as our default gender, and we've also got tick boxes, and we've got drop downs as well, where we've got a code table in Raiser's Edge. So once you're happy with that, we can save it. I've also set up a constituent attribute, and this is slightly different because I'm not using any data from Kimbia to set this up, but I just want to make sure that I have tagged everyone who I'm bringing in from Kimbia with something that says that that's where they originated. So I've got a default category, a default description, and I've got a default date in there as well. If we take a look at the addresses, in exactly the same way, I've set those up and I've linked those to my Kimbia fields. We've also got some transformations here as well. So the way the countries are set up in Kimbia is with 2-letter codes, but the way that I've got them in Raiser's Edge is full names. So what I've done here is I've set up so that it will transform US to United States. And basically what that means is that it will go into my Raiser's Edge database, no problem. So there won't be any errors because this is a code table. There's some other things I can do with the transformations as well. So I can choose the text casing. So if you've got people in Kimbia who are entering their own data, your donors, sometimes people are a little bit lazy with how they enter data. They don't put capital letters for their name or address. So you can say that the casing for the address field needs to be in proper case. And you can do that for any of the fields here. And then obviously there's different settings for dates as well. So you can transform a different date format to your Razor's Edge date format without any issue for bringing that in. I've also set up the email address, and then finally I've set up the gift. So let's just take a look at that. Obviously, with the gift fields, there's far more required fields, and a lot of those I've set as a default, just because I don't have a field for that in my Kimbia data. But if you do, then you can absolutely map it. Specifically here, I've got funds. That's not something that I've created in Kimbia, so I've chosen a default value here. And you can see also here that I've got a limited number of the gift fields. If I click on the drop down at the bottom left here, I can show more or less fields depending on which ones I need to fill out with my data. So that's how I've set up my import. You can obviously add far more details and far more different areas that you want to bring in. And as I say, you can map them to wherever you like. So let's save that. And now we're ready to run the import. So I'm going to create a control report, and the control report simply will tell us if there are any errors during the import, what those errors are. So that's really useful to have if we're troubleshooting. And I'm also going to create a Razor's Edge query of my new and updated constituents, so I can easily find them once we've run the import. So here are my 4 records. So this is my data review screen. On the main screen, I can see the 4 records I'm going to import, and I can also see the action I'm going to take down the left. So if it says create, that means it can't find a match in Razor's Edge and it's a brand new record. Where it says update, it will show me any records that it's found that it thinks it's a match for in Razor's Edge. And if we scroll right across to the end, it will show me how good a match it is. And this is an exact match. So we're pretty sure that this is the same person. But if you're not 100% sure and you want to check, you can click on the Razor's Edge symbol, and that will open up the record so you can take a look yourself. And if you're not happy with that, you can simply change it to create, or you can choose to skip that record so you're not importing it, and that will push it to the control report and you can deal with it another time. If you also if you have somebody on here who you think is on your database but it's not finding a match, you can look up that person in Razor's Edge and choose to update a record there as well. So this is our overview screen. We've then got the different tabs of where we're going to import, and this shows us every single data point that we're going to import on our record. So you can always check that all of the data is right before you put it into Razor's Edge. So here we've got the primary constituent data, the first name, the surname, the key indicator, the gender, and my giving score. If there were any mistakes on any of the areas that you can see in black, you can just edit those. So here, for example, if I think that this is a mistake on a name, I can really easily change it. Anything that is in grey is a default, so you can't change that. And we've got the different mapping areas for that tab down here as well. So this is our constituent data, and here's my constituent attribute I created too. Exactly the same with the addresses, all the same here, and with the emails. And finally, your gift data. So you can scroll across to see all the different areas that are going to be imported there. So if you're happy with all of those data points, then you can import the data. But before you do that, you can validate it. And that will check any of your default values, any of your drop-down tables to make sure that all this data is going to go into Razor's Edge okay before you run the actual import. So let's click on the validate button. So we can see the status of every single row in the grid up here. A tick means it's a new record. A little pencil means it's going to update. And if there's a little red triangle, that means there's a problem. And here we've got a summary. So that will tell us exactly what's here. And if there are any errors, we can view it on the control report as well. The control report is simply a CSV file that will show you all of your data and any problems that there might be. But it also gives you this summary screen as well. So it's a record of what you've done. So if we're happy that we're ready to import, then we can close that. We can untick the validate button and import the data. And we can save my static query. So it'll run through the same process. And again, we've got our summary here. So let's go and take a look at some of these records. Cool. So we can find my query. Let's just create some data for us to have a look at. So here are my 4 records. Let's have a look at the first one. This is a brand new record that we've created. So we can see we've got the first name, the last name that I updated with the correct information. We've got our address in here, our email address, and the attribute that I created as well with the date on. We haven't got a gift, and that's because the gifts go into a batch. So let's close that and take a look at our batch, which is here. And the description shows you that this is a batch import for Kimbia from Importacular, so you know exactly where it's come from. If we open it up, check all the information is right there, and we can commit it as you normally would. And then if we go back to our query, which I've got here, and let's open up that record again. And now we can see that the gift is here with all the information we put in before. So everything you would expect, and we've got the gift ID here as well. So that's a brand new record. Then we've got our updated record. So here we've got all of the information that we've added, exactly the same. We've got the gift and we've got the attributes. So that's how easy it is to import your Kimbia data into Razor's Edge. Let's briefly have a quick look at our prices. So as discussed, everything that you just saw me import during that demonstration, you can import for free. There's no cost attached whatsoever. If you wanted to import into any additional areas of Razor's Edge, then we charge an annual or a monthly subscription. So you can see the different areas here, and these correspond to the different Razor's Edge tabs. So we've got individual relationships, organizational relationships, and all of the other areas you can see in the top box. And for each separate area, the cost is $450 a year, but you can choose to pay that on an annual basis, or you can pay it monthly. The participant and event area, prospect and proposal area each cost $600, and the volunteer and job section and the membership section each cost $1,050.
Great.
And then finally, obviously, yeah, we're going to take questions now, but here's all my contact details, and you can get in touch with me after if you think of anything else.
Great. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, Kimberly. I was just going to add in, so going back to that pricing again, just to paint a little bit more context. So if you're using Kimbia's online fundraising for peer-to-peer or registration events or something like that, that additional cost to set up that mapping would be the $600 per year, and you can pay that either one time or monthly, correct?
Correct.
Cool. Just wanted to clarify, because I know some of our users on the line use those areas of the tool, so that would be relevant to them. So Kimberly, a question is, do you have any recommended best practices on, how often to do the imports, anything like that you can just share in terms of best practices for using this Importacular tool?
It's really hard to say, because the way that everybody uses Razor's Edge is so different, and I'm sure the way that everybody uses Kimbia is different too. I guess it depends. It really needs to match up with your reporting. So you want to be getting these gifts in before you're running any reports. If you've run an event, you want to see how much you've made, then you need to be bringing all this stuff in before you do that. So it kind of needs to align with your other business processes, and that's generally how we tend to find it works best.
Great. Are there any other questions? Any other questions that we have on the line? I don't see any other questions that have come in, but we will just keep the line open for the next few minutes in case any of you do have any questions you would like to type into the questions box for us to ask of Kimberly. If you are using Kimbia and you are interested in learning more and working with Kimberly and her team to set up additional mapping and functionality, please do feel free to reach out directly to her at that email address, at that phone number. We'll be sending this out as well with our follow-up email with the recording. If you've got questions for the Kimbia team, of course, please email us at support@kimbia.com, and we can also help guide you in the right direction. I'm really excited to be able to offer this now and have it to be so easy to get the data from one system to the other and reduce that big pain that we all know in this space, which is duplicate records. Okay. I don't see any other questions in the questions box, so we can wrap up unless you've got anything else to add in here, Kimberly.
No, that's great. Thanks ever so much for having me.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Thanks everyone who did join us on the line. Thank you, Kimberly, and thanks to your team over there at Zeidman. Really appreciate your partnership here and look forward to seeing more Kimbias use this tool. So everyone have a great day, and we will talk to you later.